Look at Ninja with the snatch block. And I've got to finish this play with a lob up top. One-handed finish. Wow, got to take another look at that one. So we've got a lot of good news today. 2K, they increased the rep. So I went from Pro 2 up to Pro 5. But I was 90% of the way to All-Star 1. So after playing some more Rec Center, now I'm All-Star 1. I'm about 60% of the way to All-Star 2. Everybody that's been playing the game is getting this rep boost. You're getting this increase as a credit for previous games that you've played, which is very interesting. So it's not just going forward, it's going to be easier to rep up, but what you've already done has been multiplied and added up. So very nice. Then of course we have a patch. And at the time of me recording this video, the patch is only out on Xbox. It's not out on PS5 just yet, but it should be coming very soon. So let's look at the patch notes and discuss. It looks like this is the patch we've all been waiting for. So first, let's focus on the park, the city. Number one, they've made improvements to the performance in the city, especially during gameplay. I can't wait to try this out. That's why I haven't been playing the park, because it's been lagging. But just looking online on social media, it appears that all of that choppiness in the city as you're playing your games, it's gone. 2K also fixed the Rec Center glitch. When the opposing team would quit, if everybody would quit, then the winning team wouldn't get any credit because you would get stuck on a black screen. And it was crazy because what we would do is, let's say we're winning by a lot, we would start giving them open shots because we don't want them to quit, because if they quit, then we don't get any rep or any progress on our badges. So we don't want to beat them too bad. We have to actually show a little bit of mercy. But now that this has been fixed, we can just beast and feast, and we don't have to worry about them making a comeback and maybe even upsetting us because we're letting them back in the game. So that's actually really hilarious. I'm glad it's been fixed. This patch is also going to fix My Career, the difficulty bonus for VC, for my points to level up, and badge progression. It's now going to be properly displayed in the post-game recap screen. That's great news. And I kind of felt like it was applying, it just didn't say it was applying, because I'm still not a starter yet in My Career. But coming off the bench, I was earning about 30,000 My points a game. That's pretty good, because as a starter, I usually get between 30,000 and maybe 50,000 per game. So to get 30,000 coming off the bench, now obviously next gen could be different. So I guess I'll see what happens when the patch comes to PS5. I play my first game, I'll see how many My points I'm gonna get coming off the bench and then when I start. But hey, maybe it was working well all along. And then of course the VC, I wonder, were they giving you the correct VC? We're gonna find out, because I have everything there from all my previous games. So you can see my salary, you can see the VC that I was earning, you can even take an average, and then I'll see what happens in my next game. This patch is also fixing various issues for my NBA. There were some hangs that were happening as you're playing the modes. Last but definitely not least, we have some gameplay patches. 2K says that they are toning down the frequency of contact dunks and alley-oops. They're saying it's been slightly decreased, so we'll see what happens with that. They're making multiple improvements to motion, including taking charges, V-cuts, sprint launches, and dribbling. They're also going to increase the free throw accuracy a little bit. I've seen some people complain that even with a high free throw rating, if they don't get a green release, they were missing a lot of free throws. With these tweaks, let's see what happens. It's already starting, they're already starting to tone the game a little bit. So as we go from patch to patch, how much more are they going to be toning? Will this game play kind of like how it is, just tuned up a little bit, or will they make major changes and then all of a sudden we're playing what feels like last year's game or previous year's game? So we're gonna find out very soon. Obviously the patch has only been out a few hours on Xbox. A lot of people seem to be pretty happy with it. I like the gameplay overall in 2K21 Next Gen. I just wish that the stealing was better. I think jump shooting is pretty good. I haven't heard too many people complaining about the jump shooting, although some people, you do hear some complaints about guys making smothered threes, contested threes. They're greening those releases. In fact, in one of my videos, playing the rec center, a lot of comments are talking about Luke. He made a 100% smothered 3 and he greened it. Now this is interesting because just last year, a lot of people were complaining about Intimidator. They hated that if you had that badge on and you're chasing people around the perimeter, you don't even really have to be in their face, but you're affecting the shot. And then guys are missing shots because of that badge. But now all of a sudden people are complaining that sometimes you can make smothered shots and you can even green those shots. Because to me, even though it did happen for Luke, it happened in that game, I don't think it's happening that often. Yeah, it might be possible to make a shot like that every once in a while, but even in the NBA, you're gonna see guys make a contested shot every now and then. If it were happening a lot, then I would say it's a problem. It's not like, I think it was NBA 2K16 patch 4, when guys were making fadeaway threes when you were contesting them. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just every once in a while somebody might bang in a 3 even though they're being contested. In this year's game, we do have some new badges. We've always had Deadeye, which is supposed to help you with defenders as they're closing out on your shots. I feel like Deadeye should mostly help when people are playing hands-up defense. If somebody's running at you and they're using the right stick to contest lightly, I feel like Deadeye, the higher you go, like if you have Hall of Fame Deadeye, you should just be able to ignore that type of contest. But if somebody actually jumps with their player, they press Y, they press triangle, then I think that contest, even if you have the Deadeye badge, that contest should still be respected. But we have a new badge in the game called Blinders, and it says that you can ignore the pressure that you get from the side. So if you have a defender on the side of you, you basically can ignore them when you're shooting. So that's very interesting. That goes back to last year's game when people got mad about Intimidator. Because with Intimidator, you could be standing 5 to even sometimes up to 10 feet away from the shooter and you're still affecting that shot. And a lot of people were mad about that. But now we don't really have Intimidator because you have to be a big man to get Intimidator. So the guys on the perimeter don't really have that badge. So I'm not surprised if more shots are going in. And for me, contesting is all about positioning and also how well you actually contest. I feel like with next gen, you should have to really do a good job contesting, meaning you need to be in front of the player, not on the side, not on the right side, not on the left. You need to be in front. If you're on the left or the right, that means you're out of position. So that contest shouldn't do as much damage as when you're right there in front of them. And then of course, if you're already there before they start to take their shot, then that contest should be better than if you're coming out of the play to get back into the play. Now, one thing that's very interesting about contesting shots is that we don't really know what rating you need to contest shots. Some people did some research where they were testing out the interior defense rating. With all the dunks that are happening in next gen so far, a lot of people were trying to figure out what can I do to affect those dunks more. Most people assumed that the interior defense rating is what you needed to upgrade to have the best chance of stopping these dunks. But our community got to testing this out and they figured out that the interior defense rating, it really doesn't matter in terms of dunks and contact dunks and posters. Whether you have a 25 rating or a 99 rating, there's not much of a difference in your ability to stop these dunks. And so this research from the community, it actually got Mike Wang to respond, and he said that the block rating is what you need to contest dunks. The higher your block rating, the better chance you have to affect a dunk and a poster. So this is very interesting information. When the game first came out, nobody ever said anything like that. So we just made builds completely in the dark. Now the next question is, what about contesting shots on the perimeter? Is the perimeter defense rating, does that help you contest shots on the perimeter, or is it also the block rating? See, we don't really know yet. Somebody's gonna have to do research. Somebody's gonna have to clarify so that on our builds, we know exactly what we need to do to have the most success with all of this. And this is why I'm advocating for all of us to be able to change our attributes in future 2K games, because sometimes 2K does not tell us how certain things work. We find out later, but then it's already too late. We've already grinded our players out. We've already put VC into our players. And now we find out something that is major. You want to be able to contest shots. You want to be able to contest and bother and change dunks. So this is vital information, and sometimes we just don't get it on time. We got to give it up to all the people that are willing to do some of these tests, even if these tests aren't the best, because you really want to do it with two people, two different controllers, and you want to jump to contest these shots and contest these dunks. But the test that they're doing, it just gives us a little bit of research so we have an idea of how certain things work. Without them researching, we would just be completely in the dark sometimes. It's always interesting to find out exactly how some of these badges work and the effectiveness of them, and this is very important information. I'm pretty excited about this patch. It sounds like great news. Thanksgiving is Thursday, my birthday is Friday, so I'm going to be playing on this new patch. Hopefully it drops today, but whenever it does drop, I'll be playing on it soon, and I'll have some new videos with that new patch, probably over the weekend or early next week. Oh, I dropped him! That's beautiful! That's a great sign. I'm getting ankle breakers in Takeover without the ankle breaker badge. Wow. If I can get ankle breakers without